Let's take a look at how global climate change could alter the landscape of the forest in British Columbia and Alberta, thanks to the mountain pine beetle killing our trees. Bum bum bum. A mountain pine beetle, also known as Dentroctonus ponderosae, I'm pretty sure I butchered that, are insects that live and feed off pine trees, such as lodge pine trees and pinus trees, basically Christmas trees. These beetles inhabit the pine forest of northern Mexico to the Pacific Northwest to northwestern Alberta. The invasion of the mountain pine beetles into Alberta is a recent event, the first known occurrence being around 2005. Beetles commonly live in higher elevations, usually ranging between 1,500 to 2,600 meters above sea level. Here's a little background information on the mountain pine beetle's life cycle in a nutshell. A female beetle flies to a new host tree to lay its eggs in early fall. She will lay her eggs underneath the bark. The eggs will hatch into larvae, which will start to grow and feed on the phloem of the host tree until early spring. The phloem is a living tissue within the tree that allows soluble organic compounds like the sugar sucrose to be transported during photosynthesis. Spring and fall are the most crucial times for the beetles to grow. A fully grown beetle will form by mid-July and it will start to feed on the tree bark. The adult beetles emerge and infest other trees throughout the summer and early fall. The lifespan of a typical beetle is about 1 to 2 years. This message is now interrupted by
Beetle Things! Narrated by David Attenborough. This is Joe. He resides on the top of the pine trees in the middle of British Columbia. This is Joe and his lovely family. Fortunately for Joe, due to increased global temperature, the summer seasons have extended for a much longer period of time, and the winter for much shorter. This prolonged breeding season has resulted in Joe mating and producing plentiful children. Joe is thoroughly satisfied. However, the pine trees aren't so pleased with the outcome of climate change.
Sorry about that. So what happens to the trees? When the larvae feed on the phloem, it will cause the trees to girdle. In other words, the circumference of the tree will shrink and eventually kill the tree. The term ghost forests, not that kind of ghost, is used when an area is filled with dead trees in a former forest. In this case, ghost forests form due to pine beetle outbreaks.
How is this tied to climate change?
Temperature is expected to increase from 2 to 4 degrees by the end of the 21st century due to anthropogenic activities, such as deforestation, burning of fossil fuels, and meat production. Research done by Sambaraju and his colleagues in 2012 predicts that the risk of mountain pine beetle outbreaks will migrate to higher elevation and northern latitudes in British Columbia and Alberta as global temperature continuously increase. They conducted the study by using data and statistical analysis as they simulated climate change of 0, 1, 2, and 4 degrees Celsius on real-world data of the mountain pine beetle outbreak recorded in 2005 in British Columbia and Alberta. They have predicted that milder winters and warmer summers is what caused the potential of mountain pine beetle outbreaks. This type of climate change is unsuitable to a suitable habitat for beetles to breed. A temperature increase of 1 to 2 degrees Celsius will cause an outbreak at higher elevation. However, a temperature increase to 4 degrees Celsius will cause the outbreak to move towards northern BC and Alberta. They have also found that cold snaps of minus 30 during October to November has the largest negative impacts on the beetle population. So, how does this affect us? The introduction of these native species into areas with trees that aren't adapted to the pine beetles is similar to the introduction of an exotic species in an area they don't belong. Therefore, they will alter the landscape of our forests as more trees start to die off. This will have a great impact on our tourism industry as people around the world come to Alberta to visit some of the most iconic areas in the Rockies. Besides that, this creates a positive feedback mechanism. As temperature starts to increase, more beetles will attack more trees, resulting more trees to die off, reducing carbon sink to absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide, therefore further enhancing global temperature rise.
Also, ghost forest encourages forest fires as dead trees are drier and are more flammable.
To conclude the findings of the study, this paper predicts that global temperatures is likely to increase about 2 to 4 degrees by the end of the 21st century. An increase of 1 to 2 degrees allows mountain pine beetle outbreaks to occur at higher elevations, therefore outbreaks migrating east of Alberta. The increase of 4 degrees allows mountain pine beetle outbreaks to migrate north of British Columbia and Alberta, and as a result, the increased amount of dying pine trees will no longer be a source of a carbon sink, creating a positive feedback mechanism as higher temperatures allow for more mountain pine beetle outbreaks to occur, therefore increasing carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere.
So we know that temperatures do affect mountain pine beetle outbreaks. However, this paper is just a model and it only provides a probability of what could occur in the future. Further studies should be done.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new.